The message didn't come with music, a flag, or even a face. It was just a voice. Cold, calm, human. It echoed through every Dominion military channel, across deep space stations, and into the halls of the Galactic Senate. No warning, no introduction. We hoped for peace. We held back. Now we won't. This is Earth's final broadcast. In the heart of the Dominion's command center, hundreds of alien officers stared at each other. Some laughed, some frowned. Most just waited. And then the signal ended, static, no demands, no threats. Just those few words. One of the generals, a tall, green-skinned Rothari, scoffed and leaned back in his seat. Earth still plays with words. Pathetic, he said. Do they forget who controls the stars? Another alien with 6 glowing eyes and a silver crest grinned. They still think they matter. In the back of the command chamber, one figure didn't move. His name was Cale Draven, human, military observer, assigned to the Dominion 15 years ago. His job was to understand human behavior and make sure the conquest of the Sol system happened smoothly. Now his fingers tapped slowly on his datapad. He had heard something in that voice, something only a human could hear. Not anger, not fear. Finality. Cale walked out of the chamber quietly. The halls of the Dominion High Command were built with pride. Black marble, silver columns, floating banners of every conquered world. To most, this place meant power. To Cale, it now felt like a tomb. He reached his private quarters, sealed the door, and activated a restricted access console. His clearance allowed him to read Dominion intelligence that most admirals couldn't even request. He entered the file name manually, Project Harbinger. The screen blinked, then loaded a single page. Status: active location, classified signal. Detected: outer rim, Oort cloud content. Human origin text signature confirmed action. Taken: observation only. By order of the Council, Cale stared at the blinking red word. Active. They had waited, all these years. All the mocking, all the attacks. Earth had waited, and now something had changed. 20 years ago, when the Dominion first made contact with Earth, they didn't arrive as friends. They came with fleets. They offered peace through order, ATA. Polite way of saying surrender or die. Back then, Earth had fought. Not well, not united, and not for long. The capital cities fell. Earth's satellites were disabled. The moon was turned into a surveillance base. The Sol system was declared a soft sector, easy to control, barely worth resources. After a year, the fighting stopped. Most humans believed Earth had been beaten, but not Cale. He wasn't always with the Dominion. He was born on Earth during the first wave of the invasion. His parents had resisted. He remembered fire in the sky, the silence after air raids, the long nights underground. Then one day, men in black uniforms came. They said Cale was special. He tested high in psychological processing, adaptive, memory and empathy. He was taken, trained, modified. The program gave him a choice. Forget Earth and serve the stars. Or remember, and someday maybe be the key to Earth's survival. He chose to remember. Now he stood alone, watching the message again. We hoped for peace. We held back. Now we won't. What did they activate? What had Earth been hiding? His thoughts were interrupted by a soft alert on his console. Incoming report, Frontier Scout Team. Sector 9D. Cale opened it. 4 Dominion outposts had gone dark in the last 12 hours. No explosions. No battles. Just silence. Black boxes retrieved by drones showed strange data. Electromagnetic surges, atmospheric shifts, and sound patterns. Whispers. One report mentioned hearing a voice in the static. We waited. You mocked. Now we burn the sky. The Dominion thought it was a human scare tactic. Cale knew better. Elsewhere, deep in space, a small Dominion scout ship drifted silently near the edge of the Oort cloud. the frozen shell of debris at the edge of the Sol system. The crew of 5 was bored. They expected to find space dust, maybe an asteroid. Instead, they found a ship. It wasn't moving. No lights. No signal. But it was human. Old design. Battle-scarred. They docked carefully and stepped aboard. The air was breathable. The lights flickered. The walls were covered in strange writing, hand-drawn, desperate. And then they saw it, a single message on the main screen, written in blood-red code. They told us to sleep. You woke us. Now we burn. The crew tried to retreat. Too late. The ship activated. A pulse wave burst from its core, silent, invisible, impossible to trace. 3 Dominion systems blinked out one after another, not destroyed, just disconnected, cut off, powerless, like they'd never existed. Back at Dominion Command, alarms began to ring. All humor vanished. Tactical officers yelled over each other. Star maps glitched. Communications with forward fleets failed. Worlds stopped responding. Is it sabotage? A general shouted. No, Kale whispered. They turned to him. What do you mean, human? He looked up, calm. They warned you. You didn't listen. Now you'll learn. Somewhere far from the Dominion core, hidden beneath Saturn's shadow, an old Earth satellite began transmitting. It had been silent for 30 years. Now it sent one signal across the stars. Harbinger active. Earth is awake. Kale left the command center before they could question him. His datapad buzzed again. One final file unlocked. A message from Earth, set to open only when Harbinger was activated. It wasn't military. It wasn't even from a leader. It was from a woman, his mother. She had recorded it before the invasion. Her voice shook as she spoke. If you're seeing this, then they pushed us too far. We didn't want this, Kale. But some things must survive. Even if we lose everything, and promise me this, remind them who we are. Kale stood still. Outside, the Dominion fell into panic. Ships scrambled. Worlds called for help. No one knew what was happening. But he did. Earth was done playing nice, and the galaxy had no idea what was coming next. The silence that followed the final broadcast was deeper than space itself. Stars blinked coldly. Planets spun on indifferent orbits. But somewhere in the void, a storm was gathering. Kale Draven stood on the observation deck of a Dominion dreadnought, the Aegis of the Dominion, stationed near the outer edge of the Sol system. The massive warship was a symbol of Dominion strength, dozens of kilometers long, bristling with weapons and shields that could crumble entire worlds. But today, even the Aegis felt small, because they faced something unknown. The Dominion command had declared a lockdown. No ships could leave or enter the Sol system. Communication. Lines were jammed or broken. The once mighty Dominion fleets were scattered, confused and terrified. They had never seen anything like this. Humanity, they thought, was weak. Now they knew it was a mistake. Kale walked through the dim corridors of the Aegis, surrounded by soldiers and officers, all aliens except him. Some whispered behind his back, a human among us, the betrayer. But he paid no mind. His focus was on the data flowing from the edge of the system. A new report came in. The surface of Mars, normally red and dusty, now glowing with strange blue light. Sensors showed energy spikes, massive, ancient technology, activating beneath the planet's crust. The Dominion scientists had no idea what to make of it. Kale had seen something similar before. Years ago, when he was young, Earth's archive spoke of the Vault, a legendary repository of human knowledge and power, hidden deep inside Mars. No alien had ever found it. Some thought it was a myth. Kale knew better. The blue light was proof the Vault was awakening. Suddenly the ship shook violently. The Aegis's shields flared, absorbing a powerful blast from an unknown source. Warning alarms blared. The captain's voice cut through the chaos. All hands. Battle stations. We're under attack. Kale rushed to the tactical room. On the main screen, dozens of sleek, fast ships appeared. They were not Dominion. They were human. The fleet was small but deadly. No one had seen them coming. No one had prepared. The humans moved like shadows, slipping past patrols, destroying communication satellites and disabling weapon platforms with silent precision. The Dominion officers panicked. How can they be here? How did they survive? Kale stepped forward, voice steady. They never left. They waited. And now, they strike. The fleet commander's voice came through the comms. Cold, calm, powerful. This is Captain Ilara Voss of the Earth Resistance. You will stop your invasion. You will leave our system. Or you will face humanity's full fury. The Dominion laughed at first. Then the laughter died. On Earth, far below the stars, cities were dark. Humans had vanished. No one knew where. Some believed they escaped into hidden space colonies. Others thought they died out. But the resistance was very much alive. They had survived the worst and were ready to fight. Ilara stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Prometheus. Her eyes burned with fierce determination. She was no longer the scared girl Kale once knew. She was a warrior, and the galaxy would soon learn to fear her. Back on the Aegis, the Dominion scrambled to respond, but every attack was met with new surprises. Human weapons were unlike anything they'd seen. Silent, efficient, devastating. They targeted not only ships but systems, disabling power grids, communications, and sensors. The Dominion fleet was falling apart. Kale's mind raced. He thought of Earth's last message. They held back, hoping for peace. Now, they were done. This was only the beginning. Suddenly, a new alert. Sensors detected a massive energy signature emerging from the dark side of the moon. The old satellite, Harbinger, was broadcasting again, a new message. This time, the voice was different, older, wiser. We are the forgotten children of the stars. The past you buried is rising. Prepare for the reckoning. The Dominion officers looked at each other, fear growing in their eyes. Kale smiled grimly. Prepare, he said. Earth is awake. As the battle raged outside in the shadows, secret machines long dormant on Mars began to hum to life. Power surged through ancient circuits. The vault was opening, humanity's hidden weapon, the final secret they had saved for this day. And far away, beyond the eyes of the Dominion, another signal started, a call to every hidden human outpost. The resistance was gathering. The galaxy was about to change forever. The dark void of space was alive with tension. The Dominion fleet was reeling. They had underestimated humans. Badly. Captain Ilara Voss stood firm on the bridge of the Prometheus, eyes sharp and mind clear. Every move she made was precise. Every command was met with deadly efficiency. Below the surface of Mars, the ancient vault was fully awake. Giant machines stirred, their eyes glowing bright with blue light. These machines were older than any living thing in the galaxy. Silent guardians of humanity's lost past. Ilara's voice echoed through the ship's comms. Prepare for deployment, this fight is just beginning. Her warriors were ready. The humans who had survived the years of exile had trained for this moment. They were no longer the scattered survivors the Dominion had mocked. They were a united force. Back on the Dominion's flagship, Kale Draven studied the reports. The humans are not just fighting, they're rewriting the rules. Weapons never seen before. Tactics that broke all logic. Kale was fascinated and terrified. Suddenly, the bridge lights flickered. An explosion rocked the ship. We've lost the starboard engine. The Dominion crew scrambled to save their ship. But it was clear. The war was changing. In the shadows of the Sol system, an unknown figure moved swiftly, a human, cloaked and silent. This was Mira Kane, a master spy and assassin. Her mission was simple: disrupt Dominion communications and sow confusion. She hacked satellites, turned enemy ships against each other, and left no trace. Mira's thoughts flashed to Earth. A memory burned deep inside her. She remembered the day the Galactic Council had exiled humanity, The lies told, the betrayal felt. Her heart burned. With a fierce fire, she would make them pay. Meanwhile, the Dominion Council debated fiercely. Some wanted to retreat, others called for all-out war, but one thing was clear: they did not understand humanity. Ilara's fleet was expanding. New ships arrived from hidden colonies. They came with weapons, technology, and fierce resolve. They thought Earth was weak, Ilara said quietly. But now we are the storm they never saw coming. The vault on Mars began to open its deepest chamber. Inside, a strange glowing core pulsed with power. It was a machine, a relic of ancient human technology, a weapon, a shield, and a key. Kale watched the readings with growing alarm. If the humans unlock that power, the Dominion will fall. But no one listened. They still believed the galaxy belonged to them. Mira infiltrated a Dominion command station. With a few quick keystrokes, she unleashed chaos. "This is just the beginning," she whispered. Back on the Prometheus, Ilara looked out at the stars. Her voice was steady but filled with emotion. "For too long we hid. For too long we waited. Now we fight for our place in the galaxy. For Earth. For all of humanity." The war was no longer just about survival. It was about reclaiming a future stolen by others. The humans were no longer weak. They were unstoppable. As the battle for the Sol system intensified, an old Dominion officer turned to Kale. "What do you think they want?" Kale's eyes were cold and certain. "They want to remind the galaxy Earth is not finished." Deep beneath the rusty surface of Mars, the vault's massive doors groaned open. A wave of ancient energy spread through the tunnels, lighting up forgotten halls lined with strange symbols and machines. No one in the Dominion fleet knew what was inside. But Kale Draven had seen the legends. Inside the vault, Ilara Voss led a small team of scientists and soldiers. They moved carefully, surrounded by relics of humanity's past, technology so advanced it seemed like magic. "This place, it's a treasure," one scientist whispered, eyes wide. Ilara nodded. "And it's our secret weapon." The heart of the vault was a massive device, glowing with soft blue light. Its purpose was unclear, but its power was undeniable. Ilara reached out and touched the core. Suddenly, visions flooded her mind. Memories of Earth's ancient wars, lost technologies, and hidden allies. She understood now. This was the key to humanity's survival and revenge. Back in space, Dominion fleets were regrouping. They launched a massive attack against the human ships. The battle was brutal. Lasers cut through darkness. Explosions lit up the void and screams echoed through comms. But the humans fought with a fury no one expected. Kale watched the fight, torn between fear and awe. "They have the vault's power," he admitted quietly. "This war is lost if we don't stop them now." Suddenly, the vault activated. A beam of brilliant blue light shot from Mars, reaching the stars. It disrupted Dominion sensors and weapons. Ships lost control, turning on each other or drifting helpless. The Dominion fleet's strength crumbled. Ilara smiled grimly. "The vault is more than a weapon," she said. "It's a warning." The humans were back, and they were stronger than ever. But in the shadows, darker forces stirred. A secret faction within the Dominion plotted to seize the vault's power for themselves. Betrayal was coming. Kale sensed the shift. He knew the Dominion was fracturing. "This war is bigger than we thought," he muttered. Mira Kane intercepted messages from the faction. She prepared for a deadly game of spies and secrets. "They think they control the future," she said quietly. "But we hold the real power." The battle for the Sol system raged on. Earth's final warning echoed through space. "We are done waiting. Prepare." The galaxy had no choice but to listen. The Dominion's grip on the galaxy was slipping fast. Chaos spread through their ranks like wildfire. Ships turned on each other. Orders were ignored, and fear ruled the hearts of even the most seasoned commanders. Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, watching the Dominion's fleet fall apart. She knew this was their chance. a moment the galaxy would never forget. "All units push forward. Strike at the heart of the Dominion," she commanded. Meanwhile, deep in the Dominion's core world, rebellion stirred. A group of disillusioned officers whispered in secret halls. They no longer believed in their leaders' arrogance. One among them was a woman named Lyra Vex, fierce, cunning, and willing to risk everything. She planned to betray the Dominion to save her people. Cale Draven's mind raced. He had been a loyal observer, but the rebellion gave him hope. Maybe this war wasn't doomed. Maybe there was a chance for peace. But peace was far away. On a distant outpost, Mira Kane's team launched a daring raid. They stole crucial Dominion data, revealing secret projects and hidden weapons. "This will turn the tide," Mira said, her eyes burning with determination. Ilara's fleet advanced toward the Dominion's capital system. The final battle loomed. Thousands of ships gathered, ready to clash in a fight for the future of the galaxy. Suddenly, the vault on Mars pulsed with a strange energy. Ilara and her team sensed a new power awakening, something beyond their understanding. The ancient technology was alive. It had a will of its own. Cale watched the unfolding events with growing unease. "This war isn't just about humans and aliens anymore," he warned. "Something else is coming." In the dark corners of space, an old enemy watched and waited. A forgotten force, long thought dead, was ready to strike. Ilara clenched her fists. "We fight not just for Earth, but for all who have been betrayed and forgotten." Her voice was fierce, full of hope and fire. The galaxy held its breath. The final battle had begun. The Dominion's capital system burned under the assault. Explosions shook the orbit of their homeworld. Ilara Voss stood tall on the Prometheus, eyes fixed on the chaos. Victory was close, but not without sacrifice. Inside the Dominion leadership chambers, fear was spreading. Lyra Vex's rebellion was no secret anymore. The Dominion fractured. Some commanders wanted to surrender. Others prepared for a desperate fight. Cale Draven's mind was clouded with doubt. "We thought humans were weak, predictable," he admitted to himself. "But they are clever, fierce, and unpredictable." Suddenly, alarms screamed through the Prometheus. "Unknown ships approaching." Ilara's heart skipped. The ancient enemy, the Shadow Fleet, had returned. Legends said they had been wiped out centuries ago. But here they were, emerging from the darkness, hungry for revenge. The Shadow Fleet attacked with brutal speed. There, ships moved like ghosts. Invisible to most sensors, they struck without warning. Mira Kane was in the thick of the battle. Her stealth skills saved countless human lives. She whispered into her comms, "They are ghosts, but we will make them scream." Back on Mars, the vault's core pulsed brighter. It was awakening, reacting to the new threat. Ilara knew this power might be their last hope. Cale watched the destruction and realized something terrifying. This war is no longer just between the Dominion and humanity. It's between the galaxy and something older, darker. In a hidden chamber of the vault, ancient technology hummed to life. It formed a holographic map of the galaxy. A new plan was forming. Ilara's voice was calm, but resolute. "We will face this enemy no matter the cost." The battle had changed. The galaxy's fate hung in the balance. Humanity was ready to unleash its full fury. The stars seemed to burn brighter that day. Ilara Voss stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, looking out at the massive fleet gathered, in orbit. This was the last battle, the fight for humanity's future. The Shadow Fleet loomed ahead, their dark ships like knives slicing through space. But humanity was ready. The vault's power hummed beneath their feet, a secret weapon from Earth's forgotten past. Cale Draven, now an uneasy ally, stood beside Ilara. He watched the humans with new respect. They were never weak, he admitted. They were waiting, preparing. The battle began with a deafening roar. Lasers cut through the void. Ships exploded in fireballs. Screams echoed through comms as soldiers fought with everything they had. Mira Kane led the strike teams, moving like shadows through the chaos. She struck the Shadow Fleet's command ship, sabotaging their systems. The vault activated fully, releasing a wave of energy that disabled the enemy fleet's weapons. The Shadow Fleet faltered. Ilara raised her voice over the comms. "This is humanity's fury. We fight for every lost world, every broken promise, every tear shed in silence." Her words stirred something deep in every soldier. Kale saw the change. "They are more than warriors," he said softly. "They are a force of nature." The battle raged on, but slowly the Shadow Fleet retreated. Humanity's power was undeniable. When the dust settled, the galaxy was forever changed. The Dominion shattered. The Shadow Fleet was no more. And Earth stood tall, no longer weak, but a shining symbol of strength and hope. Ilara looked to the stars and whispered, "We warned them. We didn't ask for peace. We demanded respect." The galaxy had learned a harsh lesson. Never underestimate humanity's fury.